All right. Hello, Facebook world. Welcome. We are joining you live today to do our drawing from our Win a Bootcamp contest that we just had that has just closed up. So for those of you who are not aware of that, I'm just going to do a quick screen share. And we will be doing another one for September. It'll basically be around every conference. You don't have to be at the conference to enter or to sponsor. So just remember that. Let's see here. So share. Okay. So I just want to thank our gold sponsors, Financial Sense, Genius Sheets, Ledger Sync, Listio, and Tech for Accountants. And by the way, the only way to do the order that seemed fair enough was alphabetical. So that's the only reason this is in the order that it is. Our silver sponsors were Auto Review, Bookkeep, and Keeper. And then our puppy adoption sponsors, which I think took away the biggest. People loved the puppies. We obviously didn't take enough puppies. Is the for Auto Review, Bookkeep, of course, us, Financial Sense, Dex, Genius Sheets, Keeper, Ledger Sync, Listio, Roundtable, Stamped, Tech for Accountants, and Veeam. So between all of this, we actually raised at Scaling New Heights 22, $1,155 US. So thank you very much to everybody involved in that. Beagle Freedom Project, the 1155 did go directly through to them, and they are an organization that works Canada-wide and that also it rescues not just beagles. Unfortunately, about 75 to 80% of the animals that they rescue are beagles. And this is animals who are in need of rescue. A lot of them have been experimented on. And so what happens is there are some labs, within all of the world that when they are done, they generally would euthanize them. There are some states and some provinces that have made that illegal, and that's great, but they still can dispose of them in that way. So what Beagle Freedom Project does is it encourages, instead of euthanizing the animals, which could be cats and bunnies and beagles and rats, because Leanne's on here and she loves rats. So it could be any of those. But what happens is if you contact them, they actually will have volunteers that will come and pick up the animals, take them to get some vet care, foster them out until they're ready to go out for permanent adoption and basically, live their life. So they've got a second chance at life. So as a beagle mom, this is very, very important to me, and I've been donating for quite some time. So we do have a fundraiser page if you want to go and donate. I will share that out in the link, and that's great. But again, thank you very much to everybody who did that. And it was such a hit. We will continue with that again for every conference, and $50 for every puppy will go through to the sponsor, I guess, or to the fundraiser, to Beagle Freedom Project. Canadian conferences will be in Canadian dollars, US conferences will be in US dollars. So again, thank you to everybody who helped with that and who adopted a puppy. And we love seeing the puppy stories of the little puppy plushies. So and let them have a life of their own. So that's just awesome. So thank you. So Leanne, was there anything that you wanted to mention before we go in and pull the winner?
Just to keep on watching, because we're going to share out those interviews with each of our sponsors as well via social. So if you've missed anything while the conference was going on, that's all coming back out, those recordings to you guys via social.
Yes, and a good thing to point out is the Facebook Lives, there was, the audio was not all that great. That'll be corrected for the next time. We've already got new mics in for that, but we did have 2 recordings of them. So the recording that is going out on YouTube that we are sharing was the one done with the good camera and the good microphone. So that is what's going to be playing back out. And then we actually also have some excerpts from them, so that if you don't want to watch them and you would rather read, we'll be sharing that out as well too, kind of like almost in a blog form. So we've got that that to share it as well. So it's, Tanya Talks, that's Sherry Lee Mather's idea. Tanya Talks, a conversation with. So watch for that series that's going to come out. All right, wonderful. So why don't we get right down to it? So first off, the boot camp, we are starting this in October. There just wasn't enough time for July. And we thought, if the winner has to turn around and move their schedule around, it's not all that easy to do that. So this will be for an October start date for boot camp. Thank you to everybody who entered. And Leanne, let's pull the winner.
So we had 55 entries into the contest. So thank you all who participated. As Tanya mentioned, we're going to, this person will be able to take advantage of joining our October boot camp group. And for those who may not be familiar, we run boot camp January, April, July, and October. So there's 4 opportunities in a year. If you're interested in getting into one of those sessions, do book early because we do fill up. So out of our 55, I've got a random generator here.
And we'll do drum roll.
And it's number 16. So let me get a name for you. And I'm going to send it over to you, Tanya.
Lucky number 16. And of course, if you haven't heard of the boot camp, we don't teach you how to bookkeep. We absolutely expect you to know how to bookkeep. And even though we are Canadian based, 95% of the content is good for anywhere. It's good for North America. We do have some US folks in there. I think we've got 7 US folks. 2 of them are accountants. We've got, some Canadian accountants, and there's a lot of support. We are a family, a community, and there's a ton of support that you get for a year. So we have the winner's name. We have Laura Venzel. Congratulations, Laura. Yay. I wish I had like one of those soundtracks to do all the great big cheering and stuff, but unfortunately we don't have that type of system set up here. So you have to go with me cheering, yay. So that's awesome. So Laura, if you haven't already seen this live, Liam will be reaching out shortly to go through and, get you set up for October. Hopefully that works. If not, you could push it to January if that works better. Of course, we want to be able to work with you and get you the most out of this. So again, thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you so much to, everybody who got involved with the fundraising part of it. And thank you to everybody who, put their interest in. And yeah, and I guess that's it. Any last messages to add, Leanne?
Just a reminder that we're going to be repeating this in September. So again, watch our social media, watch our newsletters. We have given lots of opportunity for everyone to join in the fun, whether you're attending the conference of the month, as we do center them around months where we're traveling for conference, or not attending, you can still participate.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And again, I will post the link in the Facebook Live and whatnot if anybody does want to look into Beagle Freedom Project. And if not, that's okay. Just, spread the word. Spread the word, and that's it. And yep, we're going to be running this again. And we will be running it for QBC Connect in Vegas. So that should be really big. It's going to be interesting trying to bring all these Beagle stuffies across the border. Don't know how we're going to do that because that's going to be a big one. So we'll have lots of Beagles to give away there. But yeah, so watch for that. And again, even though our conference is a Canadian conference, it is for CPB Ignite in September. You do not have to be Canadian. You do not have to be a CP member to get involved with this, either as a sponsor or as somebody looking to get your entries in for here. So that's great. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Bye.